There are two different types of dough scrapers. We have a plastic one, which is really handy for scraping down your bowl. It's got an oval section, which is good for corners and for round bowls, which is fantastic. And then you've got the straight edge, which is really good if you pop your stuff into a square or a rectangle container to prove. This one will be slightly cheaper. It's also made from plastic, so it's not as durable, but that's not a problem because you tend not to do anything too vigorous with your scrapers. Then there's a metal scraper. It has a plastic handle and a metal blade. You can get these in an oval shape or you can get them in a straight line. These are really good for bread, whereas the ovals are incredibly good for pastry. So with this, I'm now going to shape my bread. We take our loaf that we kneaded earlier. It's proven, so now we're going to cut it into pieces. It creates a really cut off edge, which is fantastic because it's nice and clean. You can grab your scales and measure the amount of dough. So that's 200 grams, which is a rather large roll, but that's not a problem because we're just going to learn how to shape it now. I tend to dip it in a little bit of flour left over from earlier. And then what you want to do is you want to pretend that it's a balloon. So we'll use the top end as the top of the balloon. Take your thumbs and you pull it apart and you tuck it underneath. With your hand you grab it like that, then you grab another section and you just keep tucking it under until you get a round shape. You tend to clasp it in your other hand so that it looks like the bottom of a balloon, and we're going to tie it off now. So you just twist it and you use your thumb to create a seal, and you can roll it a little bit and it's perfectly sealed underneath. When you go to prove this for the second time, you'll pop the seam at the bottom. If you're making a larger loaf, you'll want the seam at the top if you're going to be using any proving baskets. This is because you're inverting your loaf, so the seam will end up at the bottom anyway. If you want to do a rectangle, or a cylinder, I tend to make a round ball first and then fold it over. So I squish it down a little bit and then just tuck it over till it makes the shape that I want. And you can keep tucking until it becomes the length that you want, and you just pop down like that.